Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you some more additional information regarding Paul Pogba, also going to be giving you the latest news regarding Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer, and there is lots of other things to talk about. But the first topic of the development I'm going to start with is Paul Pogba. So according to recent reports, like I mentioned to you guys earlier on in my Manchester United versus Watford preview, Paul Pogba now has arrived at the training base after his trip from Dubai. It's likely that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Don't forget, recently Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer suggested that Paul Pogba may never play for Manchester United again, because he did indicate out that Paul Pogba is not close to returning from injury. Obviously, not too long ago, it did say that Paul Pogba was stepping up his fitness regime. Paul Pogba has missed the vast majority of our games this season due to the injuries he's had. I think it's now over a month ago since he did have the surgery on his ankle. Paul Pogba's appearances have been limited this season. He has only played 8 games this season for Manchester United, and the last game he did play was Boxing Day, just like McTominay. And I think, the last time he started a game for Manchester United was back in September. So it's looking likely he's going to be on his way out of the football club in the summer. We also do know as well that Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been talking. Obviously, the likes of Gary Neville, he's been heavily critical of him. Solskjaer has been critical of him. The comments that his agent, Mini Raiola, has come out with in the last couple of days at least. He's been coming out saying that Paul Pogba is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property and he's not his. He did say Paul Pogba is likely to leave Manchester United this summer if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. And he did actually reiterate and say Juventus is his preferred destination. Mini Raiola, I don't know if he's had any conversations with his client Pogba. I don't know if he's had any conversations with Solskjaer, because it did say that Mini Raiola wanted to have some kind of negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, so this is what it has basically said. If Paul Pogba is to play for Manchester United again, if he is to play for the club again, the earliest we are looking at him being back is for the Manchester City game in a couple of weeks. But Solskjaer did reveal last month, it was only in January, that Paul Pogba should have been expected back sometime this month, but now, of course, that is not the case. Pogba is heading now into the final year of his contract at Manchester United. Manchester United do have an option to extend his contract by a further year, but I can't see Manchester United extending his contract by a further year. But, looking at it from a financial point of view, we let Pogba go in the summer. We are going to generate a substantial amount for his departure. And also, it will free up our wage bill a little bit, because Pogba is one of the highest paid players at Manchester United. He is on around 290 grand a week. So as long as we can get the right adequate replacement for Pogba, Manchester United can't afford to let him go. But overall, he is still a very imperative player. Pogba now is into his 4th season at the football club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. But analysing the vast majority of his performances, they've been totally comparison, to his ones in Turin, because Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus, and Manchester United paid 89 million for him. So he's our most expensive sign. So I'm hopeful that he can play again before he does leave the football club in the summer. I think Pogba in the summer will either go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, he will make a return to Turin. There was rumours coming out the other day. Let's look at something like that. There was rumours coming out the other day saying that Juventus were planning to put around the £125 million offer in. Plus, they was willing to offer Aaron Ramsey and Adrian Rabiot as part of the deal, but I don't think that will materialise. So I think, his preference is a move to Juventus. Of course, from Real Madrid's perspective, they've come out and said that they only value Paul Pogba at 50 million. I can't see Manchester United willing to let Paul Pogba go for just 50 million, because that's £39 million less than what we paid for him. And plus, it's 3 times less than what we want for him, because we've quoted out this summer we want around 150 million for Paul Pogba. Last summer, we wanted around 170 or 180 million. Real Madrid, were not determined to meet this valuation, so this is why his move didn't materialise. But, Pogba doesn't want to be at Manchester United. He's made this clear. He's already notified our teammates. I think Paul Pogba, wants to be playing, in the Champions League. He wants to be, he wants to be in the Champions League. He wants to be challenging for titles, and he isn't enjoying this at Manchester United. So I think he's on his way out of the football club in the summer. But revert back to what I said. If we can get Grealish, and it'd be also even better if we could get Maddison, then we can afford to let him go, because Maddison and Grealish, would look very, very good alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. I think the mistake Manchester United made was getting rid of Pogba when he was younger. Do you remember him when we had him under Alex Ferguson? He came through the ranks at Le Havre, then came to Man United, made a couple of first team appearances, but due to limited appearances, Manchester United let Paul Pogba go on a free transfer. Also, he's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation, and in the vast majority of his career, he's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation with Man United. Not only in January, not only last summer, there was talks about him leaving. Also, back under the Jose Mourinho era, there was a lot of talks about Paul Pogba leaving, because Pogba endured a difficult, relationship with Jose Mourinho. But I think, from my own perception, Pogba is worth at least £120 million. So I don't know where Real Madrid have got £50 million from. The only reasons he hasn't been playing this season is due to injury, basically. So, yeah, he's arrived back at the training ground now after his trip, at Dubai. So that's the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. Now, we will delve into the topic now regarding Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer. I am very, very convinced that Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer, will leave Manchester United in the summer. So what I mean in that aspect is, I think Manchester United will sack Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer at the end of the season, regardless of what happens in the summer, or regardless whether Manchester United, secure Champions League football or not. I still think he will be sacked at the end of the season. Of course, Solskjaer will not resign, obviously. He won't want to do that. Then, obviously, he's not going to get a payoff. I think it did get revealed a while back that, it would cost Manchester United just around £5 million in compensation to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, I do believe the vast majority of Manchester United fans believe that Solskjaer will be gone in the summer. Also, a lot of journalists, players, people within the club, believe he will be gone in the summer. I may be wrong. Maybe Manchester United will be determined to give him another season at the football club. This is his first full season so far at Manchester United, and he has been at Man United now for around 14 months. So he has been here just over the year, and Solskjaer is aware, that he's got many expectations to exceed. Obviously, Solskjaer was lucky in the first place to get the job at Manchester United as the interim manager. Of course, he was the interim manager for 3 months. But reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period, he got given the job on a permanent basis. But I think that's one of the mistakes Manchester United did make, was giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. And since he's got the job permanently in Manchester United, everything has just seemed to have all gone wrong. So that is my element of concern. We are enjoying our worst start to a Premier League season since, 1989. So that's around 30 years ago now. And since he got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous in that. But I don't think he is the long-term solution for Manchester United. Some Manchester United fans have different perceptions. Some United fans, would give him another season. But I won't give him another season. I definitely won't. Solskjaer has endured 3 transfer windows at Manchester United. He has recommended 5 additions to the squad, and he's spent around £220 million on them. Last summer, we brought Daniel James in for £15 million. And Wan-Bissaka in for £50 million, Harry Maguire in for £80 million, and in January we brought Bruno Fernandes in for £68 million, and we brought Odion Ighalo in on loan until the end of the season and that. So Solskjaer is still to be here in this summer window. It will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, but I do believe he's had long enough at the club. From Solskjaer's perception, he feels as though if he is given the time that he's demanding, he can emulate into the next Jurgen Klopp, because it took Jurgen Klopp a while to get him to emulate to the level that he's at. He definitely won't invoke Ferguson's legacy, but on the other hand, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years, but he just isn't the right manager for Manchester United, Solskjaer. And my main explanations why I don't think he is the right man, because too inexperienced as a manager. His record at Man United's poor. His record at Cardiff was also poor. So he's managing the Premier League. He did get Cardiff relegated, and this is the explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff, but only enjoyed a short tenure with them. He's tactically naive. He needs to, make a tactical change. Whether he does this or not, I do not know. He has no plan A. He doesn't seem to have a plan B, and he just isn't the right manager for Manchester United and that. And I think what Man United need to do is we need to get a manager in whose philosophy will be right for the club, a manager with a proven pedigree, a manager, at the top level and that. That's not always the right solution, though, don't get me wrong, because Manchester United have already had, two managers, with proven pedigrees, and that was Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Obviously, their tenures didn't work out at Manchester United. But on the other hand, Solskjaer was a great player for the club. He enjoyed 11 years at Manchester United. But I think as a manager, he's totally comparison. If Solskjaer is to be sacked by Manchester United at the end of the season, I think, we'll either recommend Mauricio Pochettino in as his replacement. If not Mauricio Pochettino, we will recommend Massimiliano Allegri in. So they're the two candidates, that will probably, replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well, one of them will, of course. It was looking very, very imminent that Pochettino would have been Manchester United's next manager, because obviously, he said Pochettino's been in negotiations with the club. He said he was interested in taking the Manchester United job. And he also, said, his Tottenham legacy was more important than winning trophies, etc., etc. But now, obviously, this ban from the Champions League has occurred for Man City for the next 2 seasons. Maybe now, Guardiola will leave in the summer, and, Pochettino will replace Guardiola at Man City, because, Pochettino is on Manchester City's agenda. But I'd like Pochettino at Manchester United. And again, I think, a mistake Manchester United did make was not recommending Mauricio Pochettino in after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in 2018. We should have recommended Mauricio Pochettino in then. But I do feel as though he's a much better manager than Solskjaer. He's well proven in the Premier League. He enjoyed a good 5.5-year tenure with Tottenham. He's good at developing young players. My only element of concern about Pochettino is that he hasn't won out in terms of silverware. But prior to that, I think Pochettino is a very, very good manager in that. So he did say early on the season he was interested in taking the managerial job at Manchester United, definitely in that. So if he was to come in, or Massimiliano Allegri was to come in, there would be it'd be our 5th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously we sacked Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho on that. And Manchester United are not really known for a sacking football club. Obviously, there's been a lot of speculation as well regarding Massimiliano Allegri becoming Manchester United's next manager. I haven't read into it recently, but it was like 4 to 5 days ago, like I mentioned to you. He said Massimiliano Allegri is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. This is what it basically said. He's the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. It allegedly said he had agreed a deal to joining to manage a team in the Premier League this summer, but he didn't reveal that team. But I think he's interested in coming to Manchester United is Massimiliano Allegri. There's been a lot of speculation about him going back to Juventus. There's been speculation about him going back to AC Milan. I think also PSG have expressed their interest in Massimiliano Allegri, but he is he seems to be a very, very good manager. Obviously he's won silverware. He enjoyed a 5-year tenure with Juventus, progressed them to 2 Champions League finals, won 5 Serie A's with them and 4 Coppa Italians. He's been managerless now since the end of last season, because don't forget, he did resign as Juventus manager, did Massimiliano Allegri. But there was a lot of speculation earlier on this season about Massimiliano Allegri coming to Manchester United and that. So yeah, I think it will be either Pochettino or Massimiliano Allegri that does replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think it's not only the explanation, but one of the main explanations why Manchester United have been so inconsistent for several years is because we've made quite a lot of mistakes. I think some of the players we've brought in over the years, were good and we shouldn't have got rid of them. Prime example, we shouldn't have got rid of Ander Herrera last summer. I think didn't Louis van Gaal been under Herrera in? We shouldn't have got rid of Romelu Lukaku either, because they were 2 very, very good players for Manchester United. We shouldn't have given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. I think we should have recommended Mourinho in after, Ferguson retired back in 2013. So that's another mistake Man United made. Of course, Ferguson, was at fault for recommending David Moyes in. The main explanation why I recommended David Moyes in is because they was both Scottish. So that's the reason he did that. So Manchester United, have made a lot of mistakes, in the last 6 or 7 years. Yeah, so we have made a lot of mistakes, come to look at it now, we made a mistake appointing, Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer in. And yeah, so we have there's probably other mistakes I've mentioned, there's other mistakes that we've made, but, I haven't mentioned that. But, yeah, so... But Solskjaer, will not see out, the remainder of his 2.5 years left that he's got on his current contract and that. So, of course, Manchester United have got quite a few ambitions this season, and one of those ambitions is to finish, in the top 4, even though realistically it doesn't matter now because 5th place is a Champions League spot, but we'd still like to finish in that top 4. The Europa League is a priority for us because it's another route to Champions League football, plus it's a chance of getting silverware on the board. We have yet to win any silverware under Solskjaer. We've lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. We've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson left, and that's the FA Cup we won under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup we won in Jose Mourinho's first season at the football club. Also, the FA Cup is a priority for us because, we are still in that. Also, too, yeah, so they are our ambitions, they are Manchester United's ambitions and that. And I did say at the start of this season, I expect us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season because last season was so poor. It's going to take us time to emulate to City and Liverpool's level. I don't think we'll be challenging for the league for at least the next couple of years. Don't forget, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013 and that. But, there's not only problems with management at the club, like I've said on, several of my videos. There's not only problems with the management. There's problems, obviously, with the club's ownership. There's problems, with Ed Woodward, the chairman. He's been here since 2012. The Glazers have been owning this club since 2005. So that's around 15 years now. Also, I've got a lot of element of concerns regarding the board. And Manchester United, do need to get, the board out, because our board have been a liability for several years. So there's various issues at the club that need to be addressed, and, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. Obviously, a lot of players have left since Solskjaer's arrival. So basically, Solskjaer's brought 5 players in so far, and he's let around 9 players go. And and obviously, some of the players that did leave last summer, we have generated, some money, for some of their departures, basically. And that. But I'm happy that we got rid of a lot of the deadwood last summer, but there's still problematic players at Manchester United now that do need to be moved on. I think, we need to get rid of Jones, we need to get rid of Matic, we need to get rid of Jesse Lingard, we need to get rid of Pereira, we need to get rid of Chong, perhaps maybe even Angel Gomez, possibly need to get rid of Luke Shaw. So I think they're the players that Manchester United do need to get rid of. So yeah, more players are expected to leave the football club in the summer. Definitely that. But on the other hand, there's still players I would be determined to keep. I'd keep Rashford because he's been one of our best players this season. I'd keep McTominay because he did well before he got injured. I'd, keep Fred. I'd keep, obviously, Greenwood and Williams and all that. I'd keep Lindelof. I'd keep James Bissaka and Harry Maguire. I'd keep Mata because I think Mata's a good backup to Bruno Fernandes. So these still players here, I would be determined to keep, definitely in that. But a lot of money's been spent at Manchester United in the last 6 or 7 years. We've spent like £1 billion on recruiting new players in, nearly £1 billion. And that's disregarding what we spent under Ferguson. It adds up to about £1 billion what we've spent. We spent 67 under Moyes, 200 odd under Van Gaal, 400 million under Jose Mourinho, and now around 220 under Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer. So a lot of money has been spent at Manchester United. But, we're not in that commanding position that, we should be in. You saw my preview earlier on, didn't you, for the Manchester United and Watford game. Obviously, it's this Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff at Old Trafford. It is a must-win game for Manchester United. Obviously we want to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. We are looking to get back-to-back Premier League wins. looking to get back-to-back Premier League wins, because we won our previous Premier League game against Chelsea by 2-0. It was goals from Anthony Martial and Harry Maguire. That was his first Premier League goal for Man United. And, Martial's done well recently. He's scored, in his last 2 games for the football club, which is very, very good to see. Which is very, very good to see in that. So hopefully, we can build some momentum when now we can go on a good winning run. But, Watford's not going to be easy, like I mentioned. They've slightly improved under Nigel Pearson's guidance. Not improved a lot. Watford have only won 1 of their last 5 Premier League games. They're facing a relegation battle. They're sitting 19th in the Premier League, are Watford. I think they've only scored 24 goals in 26 Premier League games this season, so they've found goals hard to come by. They've got 24 points from 26 games of Watford. So realistically, they could go down this season. Could Watford? I think we've won all our 6 games against Watford at 6 Premier League games against Watford at Old Trafford. They've got some good attacking players, like I mentioned. They've got Troy Deeney, Deulofeu, Decore, Danny Welbeck, Tom Cleverley. So Watford have got some good players in their team. The fixture earlier on in the season was 2-0 to Watford, surprisingly. So they did beat us earlier on in the season. I think they've beaten us like twice in the Premier League era at Vicarage Road. But Manchester United should win this game. Solsjkaer, of course, will make changes, from the 1-1 draw against Club Brugge. I think he'll make several changes, will Solskjaer. I think Wan-Bissaka will be back because he didn't play against Bruges. Probably Daniel James will play, even though Solskjaer's been overplaying him. I think Odion Ighalo should be making his full debut. Fernandes should be starting, and Fred should be starting. Fred, Ighalo and Bruno Fernandes didn't start against Club Brugge, but they were all our substitutes that came on, and they did, make a fantastic impact, definitely. So he will make several changes. You saw my match reaction for the Club Brugge game. The result was a positive, because Martial got the away goal for us. Now we're going to take that away, that Martial got that away goal for us. That's very, very good to see. So now we can take this into the second leg at Old Trafford on the 27th of February. I think, it will be a total different game at Old Trafford, to be quite honest with you. Solskjaer won't be prepared to take any risks. He'll play Bissaka, Fernandes, probably James, Ighalo and all that. And Fred, just to make sure, we can progress into the last 16 of the competition. Of course, Solskjaer against Brugge, did make 6 changes from the 2-0 win against Chelsea. Diego Dalot was playing, Romero was in goal, Pereira, Lingard, Mata came in the team. Lindelof came in because, he's just recently come back from illnesses, Victor Lindelof and that. He's just recently, come back from illnesses, Victor Lindelof. But, he got a lot of things wrong. Shaw shouldn't have been playing as a centre-half. He did go with 3 at the back, and we've been going with 3 at the back in the last couple of games. And that's actually seemed to suit our standards. But obviously, didn't work against Club Brugge. Martial's been playing in number 9. I said Martial needs to stop playing in that number 9 because his predominant position is on that left-hand side, is Anthony Martial's. We mainly see the best of Martial on that left-hand side. In the 4 previous seasons, he's been playing on the left-hand side. It's only been this season he's been operating in that number 9 role as Anthony Martial. But I think, he predominantly plays out on the left. So what we need to do is put Odion Ighalo in number 9 and put Martial, back to the left-hand side. But Martial's made over 200 appearances for the club. I think he's on now 62 goals for the club since his arrival from Monaco back in 2015. So Martial now is into his 5th season at Manchester United. Ighalo should have started. A lot of fans were infuriated why he didn't start in the game. Fernandes realistically should have started in that. So we need to see a tactical change. Solskjaer probably won't go with 3 at the back against Watford. He'll probably revert back to the 4-2-3-1 formation because he has been going with that formation on a regular basis this season. But from my own perception, it hasn't really seemed to suit our standards in that. We've been given some team news for the game against Watford anyway. Tomway could be involved. Solskjaer did confirm, that he could be part of the squad. He hasn't played since Boxing Day, McTominay, because he has been out with a knee injury, as Scott McTominay. But, it's good to see him stepping up his fitness regime. Rashford, he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season, with a back injury. Solskjaer did say that Rashford is, touch and go to play again, this season. But he's going to be out, I think, for the rest of the season, at least a couple of months, and even could miss the European Championships this season, could Rashford. So, yeah, that's very, very disappointing. Rashford's out. I think Tuanzebe has also recently been back in training. Haven't heard any news about Fosu-Mensah. I think he's still injured. I think he's been back in training, though, Fosu-Mensah, to be fair. Obviously, Solskjaer said he was uncertain about the futures of Gomez and Chong. Gomez and Chong were playing in Belgium, but they were playing for the under-19, so they weren't training with the first team prior to the game against Club Brugge. Their contracts, I think, both expire at the end of the season, both players. So, yeah, so it's good that, some players, are coming back from injury, which is very, very good to see. I think also Phil Jones has recently, just sustained an injury. So yeah, I think Bay should play in this game against Watford because I thought he was fantastic on his return to the Premier League against Chelsea. Put an absolutely fantastic performance out, did Eric Bay. That was his first appearance in the Premier League since April of last year. My only element of concern about Bay is he's very injury prone. Now that's my only element of concern. But, I think when he's playing, he does really, really well. His distribution's good. He shows that ability to play out from the back. And we paid £30 million for Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016. And, yeah. So, yeah, he will make some changes, like I mentioned. Fernandes will play in the number 10, I think. Agallo should be starting, so he should be making his full debut. He should have even started against Chelsea. I don't know why he didn't start against Chelsea, to be quite honest with you, but there you go. The players that Man United are in for in the summer, Grealish. We're planning to get him to replace Pogba, basically. Sancho still on our agenda. We may need to secure Champions League to get Jadon Sancho in. Don't forget Maddison, there's still a lot of talks about him coming to Manchester United and that. So I think, Solskjaer's revealed that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings this summer at Manchester United. But yeah. So that's mainly a thing to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.